Terrence Shannon Jr. is a monster. Told you I'm shining, had to break through, plan perfect timing. Now, Terrence Shannon Jr. is a guy that I really just heard about recently. Shout out to my guy, Alex Sheltman. I think this is one of his favorite prospects. And the reason I haven't heard too much about him is because he's not mocked as high as a lot of these other guys I've talked about. For example, Yahoo has him at number 24, Bleacher Report at number 26, DraftNet at number 24, and the Ringer has him going at number 30 to the Boston Celtics, which would terrify me because he does look like a prospect that just has a ton of potential. Even though he's already 23 years old, his numbers are very good. He's very versatile and has the size to, I think, be a great role player right now, but also the potential to maybe be much better than that. Hold on. Hey, you. Yeah, you watching this video. You think you can guard me? Go ahead, check up. I'll tell you what, if you score me, you don't gotta subscribe. How about that? Let's go. I mean, you can still subscribe if you want to, you know what I'm saying? He measured in at the combine at 6'6", with a 6'8" wingspan and 220 pounds. So obviously, I think that's a pretty great frame to be NBA ready right now. He played 3 years at Texas Tech and 2 years at Illinois. And in his senior season at Illinois, he averaged 23 points a game with 4 rebounds and 2 assists. So obviously, when you see a guy dropping that many buckets, it is a little bit intriguing to you. It kind of does stand out there, and his efficiency wasn't too bad either. He shot 47.5% from the field and was 36% from three on almost 7 attempts. So those are very, very good numbers, and that's kind of the first thing I looked at when I started my research, and immediately I knew I had to make a video about him because with those kind of numbers, that's a guy that I think is very interesting for the Miami Heat. Now, some of the comparisons that I've seen for him include Tyreke Evans, same name we've heard for Isaiah Collier, and y'all know he's my favorite prospect in the draft. I've also heard Kelly Oubre, who we hate because he took out Jimmy Butler, but he's still a good player. And then another name that I did see, which is very, very interesting, was Donovan Mitchell. If the Heat can't get the real Donovan Mitchell, maybe they should settle for Donovan Mitchell light. I don't know. That comparison does seem a little bit crazy, but I kind of do see where they were going for with that because Terrence Shannon Jr. is an elite athlete who is phenomenal at getting to the rim and just a ferocious defender when he gets there. He's incredible in transition, and these are all things that the Miami Heat have been lacking for years because they've been slow, they've been old, they've been unathletic, and those are all antonyms of what Terrence Shannon Jr. is. So I do think he provides a bit of excitement and youthfulness and speed that this Miami Heat team could desperately use, along with Jaime Jaquez. I guess both those guys are kind of similar in that regard, and that part is kind of exciting because he shot 65% at the rim, so that's kind of his bread and butter there. But also with his athleticism, he has just great explosiveness on defense, and those are things that show the great potential for a two-way player, and obviously that's kind of why I do like him as a prospect, even though he's not a great playmaker. And outside of getting in transition and being a decent above average, catch shoot 3-point shooter, there's not much else there. I wouldn't say he's a 3-level scorer. I wouldn't say he's a guy that could create his own shot. Now, he can get to the rim, but he's not a guy that's like going to break you down and hit you with a step back three or nothing like that. And there is some inconsistencies in his shooting as well because as a senior, he shot 36% from three, but was 32% the year before, but then 38% the year after that, but then 35% the year before. So there's a lot of fluctuation there. So I do have some questions about how good a shooter he really is. But if you do go based off his senior season, he's more than reliable. And when you compare that with a guy who's as elite as getting to the rim as he is, then that's a very, very scary combination there, especially when you consider the defensive tools that he has because of his athleticism. Now, the Heat could really use a wing like that, I think, especially since they're likely losing Caleb Martin in free agency. They may lose Hayward Highsmith, so I do think he's a guy that could fit in that type of mold right away. And because he is 23 years old, he obviously can play right now, and that is something that I tend to like when looking into these prospects. So he certainly has a role on this Heat. He provides something they need and they haven't had in a while. So he is a prospect that I really like for this team. He's not in my top 5 or anything like that, just because I do think there's some better guys out there who are better right now, better shooters, also have more potential. But he is a guy I could see maybe the Heat trading back to getting an asset or two, like I've said, for, a few of these guys, like maybe even Tyler Kolek, for example. And then if they are able to draft him in the early to mid 20s, I do think that is very, very great value there. But let me know what y'all think about Terrence Shannon Jr. down below. Is he a guy that would get you excited that the Heat take him? Do you like some of these other prospects better? Are you just now hearing about him for the first time, like I did for a couple days ago? Let me know down in the comments below. I'm recording a few of these draft videos in one night because I'm really hoping that whoever the Heat do take on Wednesday, I've already talked about them in a video, so I have the knowledge. I think this is like the 14th or 15th different prospect that I've talked about. So knowing the Heat, they're going to take someone we never heard of. But hey, we did our best trying to talk about all these guys. So I do appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure to like the video and subscribe, because I'm on the grind to hit 5K subs by the start of next season. And I'll see y'all next time. Peace out.
Look, pull up in your city trying to get that dead face. Do it on my own, I don't need no dead weight. Had to kill him off, yeah, I need a head space. You know this homegrown bitch don't offend me.